Day 3 check-in. How are we feeling, troops?
Great. Cheers. I got to have my Neil.
Where am I going?
You keep going. Going to a wildlife refuge, and then the Greenview Packers shareholder meeting for the day.
Go Packers.
Go Packers.
Go Packers.
And then
Brett
we'll see.
Favre.
Was Brett Favre a Packer?
Of course he was a Packer.
For years.
Let's go for
20
Brett Favre.
years. Brett Favre from Kill, Mississippi.
All that. And then we'll figure out what else we do for the day. Woo! Day 3. It was Packers Day, baby. But that meeting didn't start until 11 in the morning. So we had to find something that was open early in the morning for us to do that wouldn't take too much time, so we'd still have enough time to go to park. And surprisingly, even though it's home to LAMBEAU Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin's not a big town. I had no idea. So I did a quick Google of things that we should do, and the first thing that came up was the Bay Beach Wildlife Refuge, and it was completely free, people. I'm telling you, free. Even though we had no small children with us besides our own childish selves. It was so much fun. They had like a section where they were rehabilitating animals in like a laboratory, so feeding little baby bunnies and things. Then they had like a halfway house area where they were getting the animals more used to flying and using their muscles again. And then they had a free flying outdoor area. When we first pulled in, like in case you weren't sure this was a refuge, there was like 40 geese walking across the road and they weren't moving. They were gonna do what they were gonna do, get their whole swarm, flock, whatever they are, across the road, and they were not going to be bothered by us.
Stop.
The four-wheeler guy couldn't have pushed him a little bit further. Oh no, now they're going back the other way.
Okay.
Look at the little baby one.
Okay.
The first little swampy area that they had like hundreds of geese everywhere. They all walked straight up to you, goose poop everywhere. But that's to be expected when there's lots of wild animals around. No, geesies are doing mowing the grass. Hi, dudes. If only you could hear the sound. We went to a like safari trek, so we saw some wild deer. I guess they aren't wild if they're in an enclosure. Look at the crane and a wooden deer. Which one of these deer is wooden? Whoa, chipmunk. Wolves and all sorts of things, and again, free, people. I mean, obviously you can give a donation, but it was one of the coolest things that we had no idea was there. And on the way there, you pass by the Green Bay over on your left side, and so you get to see the beauty that is Green Bay while the sun was coming up. And they had beautiful houses everywhere, which is to be expected to have swanky houses around a bay, but still, it was so gorgeous. It convinced Tad and I that we need to have a summer home in Wisconsin. Green Bay was that good. So we went to the sanctuary, and then it was time to go to LAMBEAU. We knew parking was gonna be fun. They kind of gave you a preview in the information packet with the tickets for the shareholder meeting that you should probably go early. Like, they opened it at 9 for people to start coming in. And even though we got there at like 10, I think, it still was plenty of time for us to finally get parked and walk all the way around the stadium and get into the front. But then, behold, we were in LAMBEAU, okay? There were people everywhere. There was all sorts of like shareholdery things. You could buy shirts that said Packers owner, and you could get pictures taken in the locker room seat. It was so cool, and we went and we found our seats and settled ourselves in for the board meeting that happened. They talked about financials. They gave us a little booklet of their income and, you know, their financial sheet and all that good stuff. And we found out the reason that the Packers are probably never gonna host a Super Bowl for the next 10 years. Found out that you have to have something like 100,000 rooms available in hotels within a 1 hour distance of your arena. Guess how many is in a 1 hour difference from Green Bay? 9,000, and you're supposed to have 100,000. So even though it's the best arena, it's probably the best because it is like a small town feel. Then we were in search of beer and cheese curds, most importantly cheese curds, because we're in Wisconsin, and if there's anywhere I want to eat a cheese curd, it's gonna be in Wisconsin. So we went to this little brewery called Titletown Brewery, and we found out that their roof deck bar doesn't open till 3, and their restaurant was over-swarmed with Packers fans. So we decided we don't need the fried cheese curds first. We're gonna go and we're gonna find us a real creamery, like where they take the milk themselves and make the cheese, which is the cheese curds, and we wanted to eat them fresh. So that's what we did. We went to this really cute place called the Scray Cheese Company, and it was in De Pere, Wisconsin. I'm not sure if that's the official way to pronounce it, De Pere, I don't know, but it was just outside of Green Bay, so we got to kind of escape the madness of everybody that was still hanging around for the meeting, or from the meeting, and we found the most delicious, coolest thing, which is cheese curds. I think that fried cheese curds, I'll get to them later, are okay. But the best thing is fresh cheese curds. Literally, we were looking at them through a big window, and they were pulling these things out of the bins where they had like warmed up and coagulated, and they were putting them in bags and putting them right there at the counter where we bought them. So they were still warm. They were so fresh, they were still warm. And if you've never had a cheese curd, I'm just gonna quickly explain how cheese works. So you have milk. You add some sort of coagulating agent, whether it's some sort of like acid or like enzymes, and that's gonna clot up the milk, which sounds gross, but it's cheese. And if you take out the little clumps of what's left, that's cheese curds. And we were eating that, and it was like squeaky and buttery and rich. The verdict on cheese curds, fresh, are that they are squeaky between your teeth, but really good. Thank you to Scray Cheese Shop in De Pere / Rockland, Wisconsin. Delicious. And so you need to go try cheese curds if you've never done that, because it was so good. And we got to kind of adventure through the countryside, so that was really fun to see that part that we didn't expect to see. So then we were in search of the fried kind and the beer, because again, we wanted to try the beer. We heard there was a really good brewery called Titletown. We wanted to hit it up, so we went there next. So we went back to Titletown and went to their rooftop bar. Their beers were very delicious, but the fried cheese curds were only available in the restaurant, and we were not waiting a whole bunch of time to just go to a restaurant for cheese curds. So Google helped us again and said that there's this place called Culver's, and it's local to Wisconsin, even though they're all over the United States now. But they're known for their fried cheese curds, so we went to Culver's and tried the fried cheese curds. So your review of a fried cheese curd?
I feel really fat.
I feel like it was quite like a mozzarella stick.
But with cheddar.
But with cheddar and...
A little bit of squeak.
Yeah, it does still squeak on your teethies. But otherwise, no offense, but I feel like the fresh were the cooler experience. Yeah. The verdict? Crunchy, cheesy, gooey, delicious, but very reminiscent of a mozzarella cheese stick, to be honest. We found out on the way back from the creamery that there was this state penitentiary that looks amazing. I know that sounds weird, and I'm sure that we shouldn't have been driving around the front of it to look at it, but it was so cool. If you get a chance, you should go. It's called the Wisconsin State Penitentiary. Creative name. But it's like in this medieval looking, not medieval, just old school brick awesomeness. And then we wanted to go hang out by the bay, and so we went to this place called the Bay Beach Amusement Park, and though they do have amusement park rides over on one side of the building, we parked in the regular parking thing as everything else and walked straight back to the bay. We were like literally on the beach. There was like dead fish and everything.
I already took it.
And it was amazing. It's got a tide, which is weird because it feels like you're standing by the ocean, and it's so vast that it feels like it doesn't end anywhere. And it was so relaxing and wonderful to watch the sunset at the bay. And we hung out there for a little while. We contemplated getting on the miniature choo-choo ride, but we thought it would be too tiny for us to squeeze into. And so that pretty much ended our like sightseeing part of that day. We did swing by Culver's again to get a butter burger, which is apparently something that you should do if you have a Wisconsin Culver's nearby. Butter burger because the buns are buttered, not because the burger is buttered, which was a letdown. But they were really good burgers. And then we went back to the same hotel we'd been staying in to nap one more time before we ended up going to Canada. So that was day 3. I hope that you will join us for day 4. We were going to Canada, okay? Canada. And there was a lot of driving, but we stopped and did some cool stuff, so I hope that you'll join us for that, and I hope that you will give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this series, and you will let me know in the comments below what your favorite part of today was. My favorite part of the day was probably finding that wildlife refuge and going to the Packers and eating cheese curds. So mostly the whole day. This was like a dream day for me, and I want to go back. I want to go back to the cheese curds. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
I already took it.